Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Bosun Hub Digital Development encourages you. Join in supporting Walk to End Alzheimer's. ALZ.org. Adams Ribs Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon, 503-362-2194. AdamsRibsSmokehouse.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at dore.llc. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Hey,
And
Russ.
here we are. Woohoo! Yes,
Always
we're
great
here live.
Always great to spend Monday morning with you, my friend.
Oh my goodness. Ditto for sure. For sure. I'm so thankful. And we're so thankful for all of you watching and listening. No matter how you're taking this amazing show in with the amazing guests we have. This is The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We're here every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. This also becomes part of the Experience Radio Network and becomes a podcast. So there's so many ways you could take this in. It also sits on the social media forever after we're done. So you can take it in as a video podcast later, share it with your friends, whatever. So we're so thankful for you guys being here today, and what a blessing this local community is, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. We love the ability to watch and replay, but I will tell people, join us if you can live, because then you can comment, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. You're able to interact, and I love the conversations that go on between the folks that are watching. Say, hey, yes, Michael, good to see you. Sherry, I'm glad you're here. And so we encourage that. We definitely.
For sure, we love it when you engage live. It is so good. And that is a great way to do it. And then you can go and you can listen to it on the Experience Radio Network afterwards. We'd love to encourage you to do that as well. And all that information we have for you guys at this nifty little spot called local.theexperience.video. There it is, local.theexperience.video. You can go there today, find out more information about Scott and I, find out more information about this and other amazing live stream shows, and more about the Experience Radio Network. Right, Scott?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's an expanding network now that we've got a new show. I've got a new show coming up starting this Saturday, October 5th. In Waco, Texas, the Waco Experience. So it's going to be a fun show.
Yes, and we will be having a little bit of local from both parts of the country, which will be great. We appreciate that. So thanks for joining us at local.theexperience.video. Also, if you want to go straight to our YouTube page and just subscribe today, which you should, go to theexperience.video, because that gives you hundreds of amazing friends and amazing people that will add value to your life, all in one spot. So please go there today. Want to remind you again that we're here every Monday. So tell your friends. We're going live at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And we're just so excited every week with the amazing guests we have. Like today, you know, these believers in business, Scott, in our community are just coming out of the woodwork, aren't they?
Yeah, it's great just to see that there are other believers out there. Sometimes we feel like the prophet. I'm the last one. And it's like, no, there's plenty of folks out there if you look for them. And right here on the Experience Local Believers in Business, we're going to meet some great guests. And here's some inspirational stories. We've had some great folks, and tell us about our guest today.
Well, I'm telling you, Shyla Malloy is an amazing, amazing friend. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain her. But she's almost like a sister to me. She and I have known each other for years now and been blessed to be part of the chamber and be involved doing things together. And what a blessing she is to me. But she is a strong woman of faith and huge on blessing her community. So let's just bring
I was going
Shyla
to
in
say,
and let her
Russ,
tell the
the
story.
best way to learn is to bring her in and
That's right. I'm going to give it all away.
hear
Okay,
directly.
here
Yeah,
we
there
go.
we go.
Welcome, Shyla. How you doing?
Hey, Shyla.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. It is so great to have you here. You know how much you mean to me, and I appreciate you and all that you are, and just such an amazing friend. But let's start off with who is Shyla and what are you up to these days, so everybody else knows what you're doing.
Oh, well, as Russ said, my name is Shyla Malloy, and I live and work in Lebanon. I also in Albany. I am a mother of three children, been married for 27 years to my husband, and um, I work for an organization called Family Tree Relief Nursery, where we help families overcome obstacles, and we help them through the parenting journey. Um, and we offer all sorts of services to help families stay together and support one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is important. The family foundation is so critical. And congratulations on, was it 27 years?
Yeah, 27 years.
Yeah, congratulations. That
Thanks.
is a good milestone, a prime number, I believe. So why not?
I forgot to mention, and 2.5 grandchildren.
Okay, 0.5.
Yeah.
So on the way.
We have one due in January. Yes.
Oh, congratulations. That's great. So how did you get involved in this industry and then this organization specifically?
Well, I have never really, I was an at-home mom for 18 years, and what little work I did do was within my kids' school so that I could still be an active and participating parent. It was important to my husband and I to make the sacrifices to have a role model and a parent at home for our kids. And so I never really looked for a job. One thing kind of led to another, and I think God led me here. He brought me here. Um, I was working at the Boys and Girls Club, and unfortunately, that job ended, and I was really, really upset about it. And a dear friend of mine, Lisa, reached out to me and said, "I have the perfect opportunity for you." And I've always been called to work with kids and families. That's always just really important to me. Is where my heart is at, and I believe that obviously, and staying home for 18 years with my children, I believe that family is the most important core value, most important thing to protect at all costs. And so, working for Family Tree allows me. I'm the development director, so it allows me to raise the money so that our people out in the field can do the work through the therapeutic early childhood preschool programs to the drug and alcohol mentorship and the family support services that we offer.
Yeah, you have really always had such a heart for family, community, and all that. You're much like my beautiful wife who stayed home with our kids for years and then went to work at the elementary school that the kids went to actually as librarian. And so she gets to work with kids and families all the time there. And, I think no matter what you do in the community, your why or purpose has always been very strong. What you're really about and what you really want to help out with. That's why this has been such a perfect fit for you. But, I know that you are a strong woman of faith, and that really is a driving force for you. We prayed for each other through struggles and things that have gone on. And, I think it's so important to have God at the foundation. But tell us a little bit about how your faith has really helped you through all that you've been through.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting to know, and I can't be the only person out there in the world, but I was not raised in faith. So I come from a predominantly atheist family or even agnostic family. So I didn't really grow up in the church, per se. I didn't grow up with any real big influence. There were a few people in my life, of course, that shared, about the faith with me. But I was 7 years old when I remember asking Jesus into my heart. I remember it very vividly. And it was at a neighbor's house. And I don't know why I always knew. I just always knew. I always knew he was there. I had a very difficult time growing up. My family life was really difficult. And if it wasn't for God during all that time, I don't know that I would have turned out to be the person that I am today. So from a very, very young age, I have felt him pulling me in a direction and leading me in where he wanted me to go. And so it's really just started there. And I've always just put my faith in him, and that he's going to work through me, whether it's in community, whether it's through my job, whether it's with my children. I've always just kept that mentality that I'm open to God's will and that he's going to work through me to serve others.
I love the inspiration, because God does find a way. You were being raised in a family that wasn't acknowledging God. And yet at that very young age, God found a way to reach out to you, knowing your heart. What an inspiration that is. The other thing that I think is really helpful, and I want to explore some of the activities and things that you did while you were raising your children, because out of the paid workforce, a lot of people undervalue the experience that they do as parents, because when you're running a household, you're running a small business. And some people say, well, I haven't worked for 18 years, and so what can I bring? And yet, when you start going through and saying, I organize this and that and so forth, I'd love for you to tell us about some of the things that you were involved in while raising your children.
Well, another interesting note is that my husband is not a believer. So I keep praying that he will find his way there. That makes me a little emotional.
Take your time.
No, it's okay. So I was raising my children, I was a little limited on how those interactions with faith were going to play out, just because it was really important to my husband that if my children were going to find Jesus, it was because they were led there, if that was, how it was going to play out. So my children are all believers now. My children have all grown up and are believers, and I feel really good about that. But it was just really important to me that that while I was raising them, that they had a heart to serve others, that that they were involved, that they were kind. It was just really important that they knew that. I'm not sure how I want to articulate it. Just that they knew that there was someone there that loved them so very, very much and was there for them. And whenever they had struggles, I always told them just to pray about it and that God would see them through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, obviously you can see your heart through this discussion, and when you really care about things, it really touches you deeply, and that's God honors that, and I think that is amazing. I think that what a blessing for you that you take this into all that you do with the community, because I know that a lot of us have got together at times, and all of you have been such a blessing for me lately, praying for what I'm going through and the things going on. And I believe that I always say it, when we come together, we're better together. We pray for each other, we lift each other up. And I think that's why, the chamber that we've been involved in, or you and I actually in a couple of chambers, but it's such a close community of people that really care about each other. I think that's what draws people to that every week, to be part of that. So talk a little bit about how, as you've gone into business after raising your kids, and you've been standing strong on your faith, how has that helped you with others and challenges in your business and things like that? You talked a little bit about his strength, but I mean, let's talk practical terms. Someone saying, okay, yeah, I get that, but I want to hear tell us a story about how God has really used that to propel you forward.
In my career, or just in a
Yeah.
situation?
Well, I mean, you could tell whatever you like, but I was thinking how he's used that in your career. But if there's another situation, by all means, let us know.
Well, I think the most amazing moment where I felt like God propelled me and worked through me uh, to help someone in the community. I had a friend that had been very, very ill, and she wasn't doing well. Her illness, her doctors hadn't, their prognosis for her was not good, and things are really kind of falling apart for her at the seams. And I would drive by her house every single day on my way to work, and I noticed that her wood pile was getting lower and lower and lower. And I realized one day as I was going to work, there were 2 pieces of wood left in her driveway. And I heard this voice that said to me, "You have to do something about this." And I didn't know what that was. I had no idea, but I knew if she only had 2 pieces of wood that something wasn't good, because I knew that was the only heat source she had for her and her mom, who was also failing in health. What I didn't know was that there was a cracked pipe in her house. Her power had been shut off. They had no food. Things were not good at all. But I just kept hearing, "You have to do something. You have to do something." And so I got on the phone and I called a bunch of our friends, Russ, Jenny, and Betty, and several other people in the community. And I said, "We need to get firewood. If we could all put some money together, I keep being told I have to do something about this. We have to get her firewood." One thing led to another, and the next thing I know, we had people who were delivering groceries. We had wood delivered. The baseball teams and football teams were coming out and they were stacking it. We had people clearing trash from her property. We had somebody out fixing her pipe that had burst, just helping her. And when I stopped by her house to check on her, she said to me, "I was literally on the floor with my face on the floor telling God to just let me die. I don't know how I'm going to do any of this. I don't know how I'm going to crawl out of this. I don't know how I'm going to take care of my mom. I don't see any end to this at all." And she goes, and then the next thing I know, she goes, the community was knocking on my door. And she goes, "I don't know how you knew." She goes, "But you did." And she goes, "I just want you to know that moment saved me. That moment reminded me that God is here for me and he's got me." And it was really inspirational to me too, because how many times do we ignore that? How many times do we ignore that little voice in our head? How many times? And I don't know how many times that has happened since then. It's been plenty, as we engage in the community and in our work, right? There's that voice in your head that tells you to take action, that tells you somebody needs you. And while I can't speak to, a specific one in my career, it happens, very often. And Russ, you remember just recently with our friends at Hazella, they had been taken advantage of by an organization, a business, and they were taken for some money that was intended to have their house painted. And I just kept hearing, "I need to take action. I need to do something." And the next thing you know, the community showed up and we painted their entire 1900 Victorian house for them, because it was a need that they had. So I would just say, in career and in life, listen to that voice, because it is God telling us. We say all the time, "God, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do." Why won't you tell me what to do? And he is. But are we listening?
I
Are
love
we paying attention?
Shyla. This is just remarkable, because I've been reading in Nehemiah, and I'll get back to that in a moment. But I truly believe this as well, that every day God gives us opportunities like that, right? To be able to help somebody. And it's only up to us to obey that calling. Some people you can help, as in this story. Some people we can't help, and other people won't let us help. But it doesn't mean that we don't take that step forward. But I was thinking about Nehemiah and what God called him to go and rebuild the wall around Jerusalem, but Nehemiah didn't do it. Right? He was there and he organized it. But they go through and they talk about these different families and these different groups, and they all took ownership of one portion, either this gate or this part of the wall. And the whole thing was done in like 58 days, which, as I read that, it just, to me, it's remarkable. But what you did is, as we call it, God with skin on, right? You came with those others, and you each took a section of the wall, and you surrounded them with what she needed, what her and her mom needed at that time. So I was just saying, as we got started, we're going to get inspiration every time we come onto this program. And Shyla, I am just blown away by what you're telling us, and what a great inspiration this is.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say too that your heart is amazing, and we all, people need to be careful not to beat themselves up because they can't do everything, because every need or every situation they're not equipped or able to get to, whatever. But when God's really speaking to you, you know it. And I just appreciate that. So why don't we, as we are slowly winding down, but we still have a little time left, I wanted to have you tell just a little bit more about Family Tree Relief Nursery, the actual services they do in the community. Give us a little practical information about what you're doing every day.
Yeah, so Family Tree Relief Nursery, our administrative offices are located in Albany, but the cornerstone of our organization is our therapeutic early childhood programs. And we have programs in Albany, Lebanon, and Sweet Home. Our preschool programs we meet the children where they're at. We work with their developmental needs. We go into their home and we visit with the family and we work with the family. And so we want to make sure that we're taking that holistic approach to the kids, meeting the family and the kids where they are, giving them the tools that they need to be successful, loving parents, because all parents love their children. Sometimes we just need extra tools to help us get through, some of those difficult development stages that we all experience, regardless of our parenting styles. So we work really closely with the families through that. Our preschool programs are all in churches, and that makes the most sense because that space is not used during the week usually. And so it allows us to set up a space where we don't have to tear down, every week and pack things away. So that's one service that we offer. And then we have our peer mentor programs, which is drug and alcohol recovery support services. So we work with families that are overcoming addiction, individuals that are overcoming addiction, regardless of where they are in that struggle. We help them get to court dates. We help them get to appointments. We help them with visitation with their children. We set up parenting classes. We set up support groups for parents. So we work very closely with them. And each of our peer mentors have lived experience. So they struggled with addiction themselves, and they have at least 2 years clean and sober. And so they come back and they are the person that they didn't have for those individuals. And that's really powerful to watch somebody be the person they needed the most. So that's really a beautiful thing. And to hear any of them talk about it, they are so emotional about it because it really is for them their way of giving back. In addiction, you make so many choices that you wish you didn't. And so to be able to come back now and serve others is really important. And then we have our family support services as well, which is home-based visiting. And so we work with families. We don't want kids to go into the foster system. We're trying to prevent that. So we work with families to help them navigate that as well. So
yeah, that is so awesome. I've been blessed and honored to speak at one of the dinner fundraisers that you guys had years ago. It's been probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago I spoke at that, and just been a blessing to know so many people in that organization. And, one thing I love that you said, Shyla, and that is meeting people where they are. And everybody needs to realize that when you are giving to an organization and helping, it takes everybody doing a little bit, right? It doesn't just take one person doing a ton, which ends up happening a lot, or just the few do the most of the work. But like the diaper drive you have, I've done this. Pretty much everybody can do this. Go to the store, grab a package of diapers, throw it in to the bin. What does that do? It helps somebody that just can't afford a simple, basic thing in their life, diapers. And how meaningful is that to somebody? I can tell you from being on both ends of those type of things, it's so meaningful to people. It's what you think is little thing just means so much. So, well, listen, now as we're actually winding down the show, I want you to give us really kind of wrap up the conversation today. Give us your gold nugget, what you really want people to remember in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, how people can be involved in how they can supply diapers.
Exactly. And then tell everybody how to get in touch with you. Go ahead.
Well, it's not just diapers. We also have a clothing closet and a hygiene closet. And, I think what people don't realize is that the obstacles that people are facing are not huge. I mean, they are to them, but, it's a lot of the families that don't make it to court date or they don't go to appointments or visitation are not because they don't want to be there. It's not because they don't want to better their life. It's maybe they didn't take a shower because they don't have deodorant or they don't have shampoo and they didn't feel like they were presentable, to go to that visit or that court date, or that the judge wouldn't take them seriously. The diapers really is the difference between a little one, having one diaper change a day as opposed to several diaper changes a day. And what does that lead to? But diaper rash is more crying and more upset and stressed out parents because they want to make it better for their children and they can't because they just don't have the means to do it. So really just donating, shampoo and deodorant and body wash, razors, diapers, wipes, those are just little ways that people can help that make a huge difference to someone else. Laundry soap, especially when you have a potty training, toddler, and you get to the laundromat once a week, and maybe you have 2 pairs of pants for that child and maybe 2 pairs of underwear, and you're rinsing them out in the bathtub, and you're worried to go in public or take your children anywhere because that they still smell, of urine, or, it's the little things that mean the most to some of these families. And so you can definitely help by donating any of those items or even monetary donations so that we can purchase those items. Any donations that come into our organization can be specified. Most of the money that I raise is for our therapeutic early childhood programs. But you can specify that you want money to go to diapers. You can specify that it goes to hygiene items or that it goes to therapeutic early childhood. We also have our season of giving where we provide Christmas for over 500 children. So if anybody is interested in adopting a child for Christmas, please let me know. I can see he put my contact information up there. But please feel free to reach out to me via the email there on the screen. And I am more than happy to help you find the place that you feel called to help, regardless of what it is.
Amen. Amen. And everybody just on the screen, if you're listening, S. Malloy at familytreern.org. You can go to their website at familytreern.org and connect with her today. Shyla, what a blessing. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
to talk
I appreciate
with
you having
Thank you,
me.
Shyla.
Have a
All
blessed
right.
day.
Okay. All right, everybody. There you go. Another amazing show. Scott, thanks so much
Great
for this week.
Inspiration, indeed.
It is. Until next week, we'll see you all on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Live. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.